This is a 50-30 constructed game of Sorcery Contested Realm. The Sorcerer avatar versus the Sparkmage avatar. Up top is my friend Kevin. We're playing at Flesh and Blood Foundry in Portland, Oregon. So right now we're kind of stress testing some decks that we want to take to Unland Cup, which is a large mid-sized convention for sorcery happening in Seattle in the beginning of June here. And in this game, I believe we make several play mistakes on both ends, but that's okay. We're gonna watch it together, and we're gonna kind of just take a look and review it. And if you find yourself in the same situation, maybe you won't make the same mistakes that we make. So I won the die roll, and I took the play here. So we are wrapping up our mulligans, and I believe I'm getting ready for my turn one. So turn one, no card draw. I'm gonna play Glastonbury Tor on the back row, and that's actually like one of the better turn one site plays, just because it sets you up. It wants to be on the back row anyways, and it is immediately going to start fixing your thresholds. I also have that Amethyst Core that I played down. Turn one. Kevin's turn one, he plays a lookout. He gets to see my hand. And I don't think he's super pleased to see what I have. He passes turn. I'm going to draw a sight for turn. And turn two, I play, I think it's a Smokestacks. So Smokestacks of Knack lets you, it turns off the abilities for any site nearby. So that 3x3 grid that it's in the center of, any sites that get played within that are going to be turned off, and their abilities should not trigger. Looks like Kevin draws a site for turn. On his turn two, he's going to tap for an observatory, and I believe this was a play mistake that we made. Observatory's Genesis should not go off because it is being played adjacent or nearby the smokestacks. Neither of us caught that during the game. So it's just an important thing to remember. It's really easy to forget when you're playing a game of sorcery that some of these abilities, these passive abilities that are always in effect based on location, it's really easy to kind of get tunnel vision and not take those into account. So he has reordered his top three on the spellbook with the observatory, and he's got 2 mana on his turn two. And he plays a Poisonous Dagger on the Sparkmage, so he's getting out that powerful combo with Poisonous Dagger and Sparkmage to do lethal damage whenever he taps to use the Sparkmage damage ability. So he's kind of like set up. He's developed his kind of strategy and board state already. Not really looking forward to having to deal with that so quickly. I believe I drew a spell for turn, and it was that Magic Missile. And now I am going to play out the tower, the Lone Tower. The tower is going to give me 1 mana for the turn. It will not get the Genesis from the smokestacks, so I'll have a total of 4 mana in my pool, including the Amethyst Core, but I believe I don't have a play. I had a Warhorse in my hand, but I opted not to play it. Just because I felt like it wasn't really necessary to push 2 points in now, especially since he had the dagger, and also it was better to keep the Warhorse in case I needed to push damage somewhere else in the future, or if I needed to get some mobility on my spell, on my Sorcerer. He plays a Merlin's Tower, and we do remember that the Smokestacks is in effect, so he does not get the Genesis on that. And then for 3 mana, he plays a Phantom Steed into the Void. And he's going to pass it back to me. Draw a spell for turn. And then I'm going to tap for a cursed land under the Phantom Steed. And I think I'm doing that so I can interact with it. And then at this point, I'm going to use the Warhorse in my hand to charge and attack and trade for the steed. And then with my remaining mana, I'm going to cast the Colleague Dragonets on the back end and then ping him for 1 at the end of turn. So I play the Dragonets all the way back there because I'm pretty afraid of getting close to the Sparkmage. I want to make him do the work to come to me if he has to. His turn, he plays a free city. And then he is going to Magic Missile and remove the Dragonets. And then for 2 more, he's going to play a Highland Princess and fetch for an artifact with a cost of 1 or less. And he's going to fetch for the Ring of Morrigan. Again, which is a very likely search target for the Highland Princess when you have that, when you're able to play that out. He does not have the mana to play the ring to his avatar this turn, but it is in his hand now. So at this point in time, I have a total of 5 mana, and I am now using the Sorcerer every turn to, pretty much every turn, to tap and draw that extra card. So I'm drawing 2 cards per turn, and I'm digging pretty aggressively here to try to find a Dispel or a Disenchant. I have 2 Disenchants in this deck, and I'm going to need them to deal with both the Poison Dagger and the Ring. This turn, though, I'm just attempting to play out some cards and put some pressure, keep some pressure on him. So I attacked in for 2 with the Warhorse. He opted not to defend with the Highland Princess. And then I got the Falconer and the Pillsbury Bats out in a position where the Bats can attack on my next turn. So again, on my side with Sorcerer, 5 mana base affords me the luxury to be able to start doing those taps for that extra card. And the potential is high that I'm going to be able to, cast 1, maybe 2 spells per turn with that. Kevin, on his turn, he's playing the Ring as expected, and then he's going to play out the Headless Haunt. He's debating on placement for that, and he ultimately decides to put it there, which I think he put it there so he has the option to defend Merlin's Tower, which was a decent placement because now I can't really attack into Merlin's Tower with my bats like I wanted to. And I used the Ring to ping from playing the Headless Haunt for 1 point of damage to the Warhorse. The damage is going to come from Sparkmage, so it is going to be lethal damage with the dagger. It will immediately kill the Warhorse. That's what we're discussing right now. He thought maybe he had to do 2 points of damage to kill the Warhorse, which is why he was trying to attack in with the Highland Princess to trade. But now he's realizing that no, if I do the ping, it's lethal, so I just have to do it once. Yeah, so he doesn't have to tap to activate the Sparkmage ability, is what he's realizing. And then he's going to instead use it to tap and play another site for turn. And he's playing a Great Wall. He's playing it back pretty far. Again, his options are pretty limited with that. If he played it next to the smokestacks, it would probably, it would not have its ability. And if he played it next to Merlin's tower, he would potentially expose his Headless Haunt on my turn now. So again, tapping for an extra card draw on this turn with the Sorcerer, I am aggressively trying to find those disenchants. I think that is, I'm pretty sure that is kind of the only way to win this game as Sorcerer with the deck that I have right now. So this is an aggro Sorcerer deck. The power level on my creatures caps out at around 3. I have some spell damage ability here. But that's it. And now I'm just diversifying my... I'm just moving out my Highland Falconer into position so it can potentially do something. If he chooses not to move the Spell Mage this turn, or the Spark Mage this turn, I could at least attack into Merlin's Tower next turn for 1 point. Headless Haunt is going to do its random roll, and it ends up right on my home site, which is not great. So that'll be 4 points of damage in when he attacks with it. And then he's choosing to move forward with the Sparkmage. And now he's playing Chain Lightning, and Chain Lightning will target the Falconer, target the bats nearby. So he just wants to clear the board and take those guys out. And he's going to choose to swing at smokestacks for 4. And pass turn. So on this turn, I believe this is the turn where I draw for turn from my spellbook and I top deck a disenchant, which I need. And then I tap for another card and I end up drawing a second disenchant. So I drew both disenchants in the deck. And they're now in my hand. So on this turn, you're going to see that disenchant come out since he stepped within range. Disenchant has a 2-step range, and so I'm going to take that opportunity to go ahead and remove those cards, which are super problematic. I didn't have another play, so I passed turn. He random rolled the Haunt, and it went away into the corner, which was in my favor. And he had a second Poison Dagger in his hand, but again, he doesn't know that I also have another disenchant in my hand again to deal with that. And then he's going to tap to draw a sight because he likes his positioning there currently. So now I'm going to start my turn. I'm going to draw a spell for turn. Or no, I'm going to draw a sight for turn, and then I'm going to tap for a spell. Or no, tap to play the site, excuse me. Poison Well. So again, this is another play mistake. Typically, Poison Well would have done 2 points of damage because there are 2 enemy sites nearby, but next to the smokestacks, it doesn't get that ability. So that was a mistake on my part. And then I played the second disenchant just to get rid of the that second poison dagger, and then I played a monstrous lion to charge 4 points in to the avatar. Kevin's turn now. He did get a favorable roll with the Headless Haunt, so he's in position to get some value out of that this turn.
Oh man.
He's just sizing up. He's sizing up the lion. He does not like that his avatar is like on the same site as the lion, within striking distance. Like, he really needs to like get some distance away from it. Ideally, if he had a blink, he could maybe blink back to his Great Wall diagonally. So he attacks in, he gets his attack in with the Haunt. Gonna tap for a site, Cloud City. And then he's going to play a Gyre Hippogriffs for to push in 3 points of damage. So at this point, I think he's just trying to race to door. He's going to pass turn to me. So at this point in time, I have 6 mana on the board, which is more than enough for this deck to cast anything it wants, or in most cases, double cast. So you drew a spell, tapped for a spell. Now I'm just trying to kind of decide what to play out here. So I'm going to attack in for that 4 points against the Sparkmage. I'm going to play a Sacred Scarabs on the Hippogriff site. And that is more of a defensive positioning because I wanted to be able to deal with the Hippogriffs when they come out. And now I'm going to double Firebolt and Magic Missile the Sparkmage to take him to door. Headless Haunt gets a roll back on the Cloud City, on the back row. It's not a great position, I think. It at least gives him, I think, a blocking option, which he's going to need when he's at door here.
Wait a second, this can't access.
He's trying to weigh his option. I think he's trying to weigh his options, figure out where he can go here, where I can't get to him on the next turn. So he needs to be in a position where he can't be attacked, or he needs to be in a position where he has enough blockers to potentially deal with that. Right now, I think, yeah, he's looking at where he can go. And he is looking at the Scarabs. He's afraid of the Scarabs right now, just because if he gets in range of them, they could just fly in and suicide in to deal the remaining damage. So he's going to use the Hippogriffs to trade the Scarabs. And now he's moving. I think he was afraid of something like a grapple shot. And he's going to go ahead and disenchant. He's rolling that move back really quick. He's going to go ahead and disenchant while he's within 2 steps, just to get that value, remove bring my mana base down to 5 in case that matters. And then he's going to move over so the Headless Haunt can defend if needed if I attack in with the Lion. So unfortunately, on this turn I top deck the Ring, so all I have to do is cast the Ring and cast Boudicca. And that will ping him for the last point of damage for game.
I was trying to figure out how to make it so that I deal with
So it's a pretty good game. We made a lot of play mistakes on this one, mostly revolving around the smokestacks of Knack and forgetting to disable some of the sight abilities. I believe there was also one more play mistake early on where like an additional point of damage should have been counted, but I don't know if that heavily factored in, because I think I was supposed to take an additional point of damage at one point and we didn't count that. But it's still a very fun game. It was a great learning game, and it gave us some more experience for the upcoming tournament.